Hello and welcome. Tonight, as the death toll in the Christmas Eve attacks in Bokos and Barkin-Ladi councils of Plateau State rises to 195, United Nations raises alarm over the continued invasion of rural communities in the state. Police in Imo State arrest 23-year-old woman for allegedly killing a police corporal after shooting at him with a pistol allegedly belonging to the dead policeman. Federal High Court Abuja extends its order stopping INEC and the PDP from taking any action against the River State House of Assembly members who recently defected to the APC.
And on business news tonight, Brazilian oil giant Petrobras makes re-entry into Africa 3 years after leaving Nigeria.
On sports news tonight, Remo Stars set to end 2023 as Nigeria Premier Football League leaders, despite defeats to Heartland on March Day 16.
And from Abuja, the president urges the APC National Working Committee to ensure that more women and youths are recruited in its e-registration and digital membership validation exercise to be completed in the first quarter of 2024.
And in international news from London, the Hamas-run health ministry in Gaza says 50 Palestinians have been killed in Israeli strikes on Thursday.
The horror of the coordinated attacks on numerous communities in Plateau State on Christmas Eve continues to send chilling feeling across the country and even beyond. This comes as the death toll from the incident has risen to 195, according to the Commissioner for Information and Communication, Musa Ashams, who said more bodies were recovered in the bushes while others were receiving treatment on injuries they sustained during the attacks. Meanwhile, Governor Caleb Mutfwang has been visiting the victims at the hospital, where he says at least 36 persons, including children and the elderly, are receiving treatment.
Governor Caleb Mutfwang of Plateau State, accompanied by other state officials, is at the University of Jos Teaching Hospital to check on the welfare of the victims of the Christmas Eve attacks in the state. According to the Nigerian Red Cross, over 300 persons sustained various injuries during the attacks. Children and elderly women are among those injured, and the governor is reassuring them of justice.
I would follow up with the security agencies until they are able to give us tangible evidence of the perpetrators of these criminalities. And not only are we able to fish them out, but that will also make sure they are prosecuted. That is the only way that justice can come to the dead, justice can come to the wounded. At this time around, I can assure you that the federal government is summoning the requisite political will to ensure that this is done.
She's sustained this injury.
Yes.
Some victims are also receiving treatment in private hospitals. They narrate their experience during the attack.
First of all, on Sunday, they come in the night. When we are at home in the night, we hide. In the morning, we come out on Monday. So we are just there. So we saw them, they come with their guns, they begin shoot, and we run away. We are running, they shoot some. We are running, and they shoot me. When they shoot me, then I hold the hand, I'm running. I see they shoot my brother, he died. I shoot this one who died at the road. So they know they couldn't leave him, and they take me to hospital. From there, and I know all of them. I know them. They are just closely to us, and I know their names.
It happened on the 24th December, and they know it. When we are just leaving, so they just approach us with them, even know that they are close to us. And they started shooting us. That's what happened.
Those that are displaced as a result of the attacks are receiving care and support from the Nigerian Emergency Management Agency.
We have approved food items, non-food items, and some immediate building material. Because it's an IDP camp, and if you see the condition there, we need to create VIP toilets for the use of male and female.
We also have the...
In the meantime, the Forum of Northern Senators, led by Senator Abdul Ningi, in the company of Senator Aminu Waziri Tambuwal and Senator Kawu Sumaila, were at the government house in Jos to commiserate with the government and people of Plateau states.
Meanwhile, the United Nations says it is deeply alarmed by the string of attacks on villages in central Nigeria, which left nearly 200 dead. The UN Human Rights Chief, Volker Turk, expressed this in a statement, adding that the series of attacks by gunmen on multiple rural communities in Plateau State has become highly disturbing. He called on the Nigerian authorities to investigate this incident promptly, thoroughly and independently, and in consistency with international human rights law, and to hold those responsible to account in fair trials. It maintains that cycle of impunity fueling the attacks must be urgently broken by the government by addressing the underlying root causes. Meanwhile, the police have been explaining the steps they are taking in response to the killings in Plateau State. This comes as the Inspector General of Police, Mr. Kayode Egbetukun, has ordered the immediate deployment of additional manpower and resources to the state. The police spokesperson, Ulumiwa Adijobi, says the move is to effectively manage the crisis and ensure safety of residents.
In response to this grave situation, the Inspector General of Police has taken decisive action by ordering the immediate deployment of additional manpower and resources to Plateau State. This strategic move aims to assist the local police authority and other security apparatus in effectively managing the crisis and ensuring the safety of the residents in the affected local government areas and the entire state. The IGP further admonishes warring groups, the residents, and the entire state to embrace peace, shun violence, and unwarranted killings of innocent souls.
A more condemnation of the Plateau attacks. This time, the Sultan of Sokoto, His Eminence Alhaji Saad Abubakar III, is questioning the effectiveness of government authorities and security agencies in preventing the mindless killings of innocent citizens in the country. The Sultan made the remark at the 80th edition of the National Islamic Vacation Course organized by the Muslim Student Society of Nigeria in Bauchi. He is pleading with the government to step up and be more proactive to counter the insecurity challenge in the country.
Why do we keep on having these clashes? Why do we keep on having these deaths caused by ourselves? A couple of weeks back, the Tudunbiri issue is still fresh with us. Now, the one on the Plateau. We always condemn such things, but after condemning such activities by these bandits and criminals, what's next? What are the roles of the government who are supposed to protect our lives and property? Why can't you be proactive? Stop such attacks before they happen. What happened to our intelligence gathering mechanisms? Can anybody tell me that nobody knew such attacks were coming on? In various places, whether it's in Sokoto or it's in Benin Kabi or it's in Kaduna or anywhere. Have we lost our sense of gathering information to avert any of such heinous crimes? We must ask our government to up the game, because these bandits are always a step ahead. For some of us who are fortunate to have served in the military, we know the activities of the security agencies. So we keep on asking questions. What really is happening? Things are politicized, and that's the worst way to go when you politicize insecurity.
For over 20 years, Plateau State has had to contend with flashpoints of insecurity, which has led to huge loss of lives and property. This challenge before Nigeria's 12th largest state and described as the home of peace and tourism begs the question, when will the killings end? Our correspondent, Olumide Macaulay, reminds us of some incidents that have compelled the intervention of the special operation of security forces in the state.
The more things change, the more they stay the same in Plateau State, as the revolving doors of the exit of former Governor Samuel Lelong to the entry of current Governor Caleb Muftwang contend with the same challenge: insecurity. The form it took on Christmas Day of 2023, an unpleasant reminder of similar incidents which include the Jos crisis of September 2001, where around 1,000 lives were lost, Tuwase, Langtang North and Langtang South, Shindam, Barakinladi, Rayom, from 2002 to 2004, when from 2,000 to 3,000 people were killed, according to Human Rights Watch. These alarming figures recur in varying numbers in more recent times. 2023 is a year to forget in Plateau State, security-wise, as the cries of the bereaved rent the air. This is Adukwal district of Bassa local government area in Jos North, Plateau State, where no less than 8 people were killed and 3 others injured by unidentified assailants. 2 children of Danjuma Avu were murdered in this attack.
It was raining at that moment, so 2 men came in army uniform, as if they packed for the rain to be over. So after the rain, they left, and later in the night, that was the time people, those armed men, they came and started spraying bullets on them. He was outside, so he ran for his dear life to hide. I had a phone call from one of my friends that lives in this place. That's Fulani people came and attacked this very community.
Lightning doesn't strike twice in one place, but for Mangu local government area and others, the opposite is the case.
They are killing us, and we have never fight in this Mangu local government.
But the army on the scene, as the Chief of Army Staff charges the troops on taking the fight to the perpetrators.
You are the people's army. When they send a distress call to you, you must respond. And you must respond as quickly as possible. Is that clear? Yes, sir! Even when you respond, you must give them a feedback on what you have done. That is the only way you can build confidence. That is the only way you can build trust.
The commander of Operation Safe Haven has been vocal about the need for cooperation from the communities.
With the support of your community, with your support as the royal father of this place, with the support of the youth, jointly, we can resolve this issue quickly so that we de-escalate the situation and we don't have further loss of lives and property.
Guns, guns, and more guns, as the efforts of Operation Safe Haven yields results. This cache of weapons from an illegal weapon manufacturing factory discovered by troops of Operation Safe Haven.
Fight together! Win together!
The die is cast. The battle lines have long been drawn as the nation's security forces continue to contend with those who do not want peace in Plateau State. Olumide Macaulay, Channels Television News.
To crime matters, the Imo State Police Command says it has arrested a 23-year-old woman by the name of Amanda Uchechi Ugo from Umumbiri community in Ahiazu, Mbise, local government area of Imo State, for allegedly killing a police corporal, Cosmos Ugu. In a statement, the Imo State Police Command spokesman, Henry Okoye, explains that operatives of the Police Area Command in Mbise heard 3 gunshots emanating from the Area Command's barracks and moved to the scene. On arrival, they met Corporal Cosmos Ugu in his room with gunshot injuries on his chest and hand, with the suspect also at the scene of crime allegedly holding a pistol belonging to the dead policeman, and was promptly arrested. According to the police, upon interrogation, the suspect made confessional statements admitting that the police corporal was her boyfriend and that she shot him with a pistol over a serious altercation she had with him. The suspect is said to have been transferred to the State Criminal Investigation Department, SCID, in Owerri, on the directives of the Commissioner of Police, and will be arraigned in court on completion of investigation. In part 2, after the break, Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa condoles with the family of the former governor of the state, Rotimi Akeredolu, makes first appointments as some commissioners resign from the Ondo State Cabinet. Please stay with us. Welcome back. If you've just joined us, you're watching the news at 10, coming to you live on Channels Television Lagos. A reminder of our top stories. As the death toll in the Christmas Eve attacks in Bokos and Barkin-Ladi councils of Plateau State rises to 195, the United Nations raises alarm over the continued invasion of rural communities in Plateau State. Police in Imo State arrest 23-year-old woman for allegedly killing a police corporal after shooting at him with a pistol allegedly belonging to the dead policeman. Federal High Court Abuja extended its order stopping INEC and the PDP from taking any action against the River State House of Assembly members who recently defected to the APC. And the Hamas-run health ministry in Gaza say 50 Palestinians have been killed in Israeli strikes on Thursday. In another crime incident, 9 suspects have been arrested in connection with the production of counterfeit pillows that are said to be harmful to human health in Sokoto State. While parading the suspects at the command headquarters in Sokoto, the NSCDC commandant in the state, Mr. Bello Alkali Argungu, said the suspects, including underage boys, were apprehended by NSCDC officials at different locations in the metropolis. He said that the contaminated materials used by the suspects are picked from waste bins, drains and other places to make pillows and sold to members of the public. To legal matters, Justice Donatus Okorowo of the Federal High Court Abuja has extended the December the 15th interim order stopping the Independent National Electoral Commission INEC and the People's Democratic Party, the PDP, from taking any action against the 26 Rivers House of Assembly members who defected to the All Progressives Congress, the APC. Justice Okorowo extended the order following an application by the council for the lawmakers, Steve Adehi, who appeared for the Rivers House of Assembly. Justice Okorowo held that based on Order 26, Rule 10 of the Federal High Court, the court had the discretionary powers to grant the plea in the interest of justice. The judge held that he was persuaded by the reasons given that granting the order would be better in the interest of justice and subsequently adjourned the matter to January the 24th, 2024 for hearing. Justice Okorowo had on December the 15th granted the ex-parte motion restraining INEC, PDP and the House of Assembly from declaring their seats vacant and withdrawing their respective certificates of return pending the hearing and determination of the motion on notice. Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa has paid a condolence visit to the family of the former governor of Ondo State, Rotimi Akeredolu, who died yesterday. Governor Aiyedatiwa, who took the oath of office yesterday, was accompanied by members of his cabinet and some of the state lawmakers to the residence of the Akeredolus in Ibadan, Oyo State, to commiserate with them over the loss of their loved one. The governor told journalists after the visit that the late Rotimi Akeredolu was a courageous leader who stood for the truth.
We have to do this because he has always been our leader, a courageous one for that matter, one who has governed Ondo State in the last 6.5 to 7 years with great courage and with so many legacies that he has left behind. He's an exemplary leader, a courageous one, a leader that believed in fairness, equity, and justice, a senior advocate of Nigeria who speaks on national issues so that adjustment and proper decision can be made concerning any issue in Nigeria.
Governor Aiyedatiwa has made his first set of appointments, including a new Chief Press Secretary, Mr. Ebenezer Adenion, and a Special Assistant on Political Matters, Mr. Smart Omadumbi Jr. Others include Mr. Abire Sunday Olugbenga, who is the Special Assistant to the Governor on New Media, and Ms. Motoraya Oyedele, the Special Assistant on Photography, while Dr. Timitayo Irekpolu is now the Special Assistant Domestic and Government House. Before those appointments, some members of Cabinet under former Governor Rotimi Akeredolu resigned their appointments. They include the Commissioner for Infrastructure, Lands and Housing, Mr. Raimi Amino, the Chief Press Secretary, Mr. Richard Olatunde, as well as the Special Advisor to Governor Akeredolu on Union Matters and Special Duties, Mr. Dari Aragbaye. Governor Abba Yusuf of Kano State has described the late former Speaker of the House of Representatives, Gali Naaba, as a true patriot and a worthy politician who sacrificed his life for his people. The governor paid the tribute during the distribution of relief materials to persons with disabilities in the Government House, Kano. Our correspondent, Sadiq Ilyasu, reports.
It's the second day of the death of the former Speaker of the House of Representatives, Gali Naaba, and family, friends, and allies continue to troop to his residence to condole with his immediate family. His relatives, as well as some of his closest friends, share their experiences.
In fact, when he goes for his plenary sessions, when he was Speaker of the House of Representatives, I'll be under his desk playing. So he took me everywhere with him, and that is the kind of bond that we had. And even up to his death, we have always been side by side. He had always been there for me, and he never pressured me into anything.
He's a man of dignity right from childhood. Man of honor, sympathy, anything good you can think of, you can place him there. He is very good to us, to our parents, and to the family in general.
He vigorously promoted the independence of the legislature. Even though it is arguably at some point futile, but he did make a reasonable impact in showing to the world that it's an independent arm of government.
I want to also recognize the presence of the representative of Emir of Kano, Professor Isa Makaba.
In the Kano Government House, Governor Yusuf used the occasion of the distribution of relief materials to persons with disabilities to pay tribute to the former federal lawmaker.
Let me equally seize this opportunity to condole with the good people of the state, as well as the families of the former Speaker, House of Representatives, Right Honorable Gali Naaba, who died early morning of yesterday.
Gali Naaba has been described as a dedicated politician and patriot. Many believe he will remain a beacon of inspiration in Nigeria's political history. Sadiq Ilyasu, Channels Television News.
Let's now head to the nation's capital, where Markwe Ogun Yusuf is standing by to give us the very latest from our Abuja studios. Hello, Markwe.
Hello, Ayo. Well, the president, who's in Lagos, is asking the National Working Committee of his party, the APC, to ensure that more women and youth are recruited in its e-registration and digital membership validation, scheduled to be completed in the first quarter of 2024. President Bola Tinubu was receiving members of the committee, led by the national chairman, Abdullahi Ganduje, when he stressed the importance of tolerance and accommodation of all faiths.
Nigeria diversity is great for us. It's built on tolerance and accommodation of all the faiths in this country. And we continue to rejoice with one another. Thank you very much for the leadership you have provided to nurture our youth. Mr. Chairman, please, as you embark upon the recruitment exercises, remember to include more women and more youths. Solidly with you, and I'm committed to that progressive ideological bent of our party.
Meanwhile, the president also informed his guests that the 2024 appropriation bill will be ready soon and will display his administration's focus on reversing the infrastructural decay in the country through financial re-engineering. He also touched on the need to address the alarming number of the out-of-school children in the country.
We are working hard on financial re-engineering of our national economy. I'm expecting the budget to be out anytime soon. You will see the tilt towards the capital expenditure, and we are working on that. We have to renew the infrastructure decay and reverse that decay collectively. So you have a whole lot of job mobilizing resources from local government and subnational government for us. Equally, one area to tackle that is building more schools, recruiting more teachers, and providing 1 meal a day for our school children. And that's part of the progressive ideology you should be thinking of.
In other stories, the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Taoreed Lagbaja, is reiterating his call for security personnel to remain professional in discharging their duties. Lieutenant General Lagbaja gave the charge during the investiture of 47 Major Generals in Abuja. The 47 officers were promoted to the rank of Major General, while 75 colonels were elevated to the rank of Brigadier General.
This is the peak of your career, and there shall be zero tolerance for breach of trust. The rank you now adorn requires a different skill set from what you have been used to. You have joined the pool for appointments as General Officer Commanding, Principal Staff Officers, Corps Commanders, and most importantly, Chief of Army Staff and Chief of Defense Staff. So, I challenge you to sit back and get to work to know the Nigerian Army, the armed forces of Nigeria, and the country's political, diplomatic, and economic dynamics better, so you can be logically and objective in your contribution to the system.
Well, 5 of the officers are from Edo State, and the state governor is also using that platform to charge young people in Edo State.
They all got promoted through the shared dint of hard work. And this is what we've been saying to our young ones in Edo State. Once you work hard, once you focus on developing yourselves, the sky is the limit. Edo has always provided and produced the core of the manpower, human capacity for Nigeria, and we continue to do so by focusing on education for the new generation of Edo people. Education is a priority, and because you'll agree with me that without that requisite education and discipline, we will not be celebrating these 5 generals today. We are on the right path. That something produced, some policies, some attitudes produced the generals you have today. Somebody cared for them. Somebody made sure they go to school, they went to school, and had quality education. And we've today ensured that in Edo State we do not lose that tradition. We want to make sure that our young ones, the new generation of Edo people, have very high quality education, which will make them go places.
Still ahead on the news at 10, Brazilian oil giant Petrobras makes a re-entry into Africa 3 years after leaving Nigeria. Well, that's some business news. To join us again. Welcome back. The management of the Nigerian Railway Corporation is encouraging train passengers to get their free tickets via the online e-ticketing platforms only, as tickets will not be issued at any of the corporation's train stations. NRC Managing Director, Mr. Fidet Okiria, says this will also help passengers avoid being extorted. This comes amid a complaint of extortion at the Lagos train stations, especially during the Christmas holidays.
The good thing is that this government has come up with a free train ride that we started on the 21st, and it's still ongoing. It's a 15-day operation, and we're advising our people to ensure you get the ticket online. All our stations, ticket offices have been closed so that we don't have a rush there. Since we are online at our various train services, we're trying to encourage our people to go online. Even when we come back to commercial operation, they should be able to get their ticket online so that they don't come to the station and say somebody is cheating them.
Mr. Kiria also expressed concerns over activities of vandals and how it continues to take a toll on the operations of the NRC.
The only issue we have now is vandalization of the track, which it is a big problem. It's a big problem that when we replace them, they come back and attack them. A case in point is Mushi here on the modernized track. Just before the Christmas, there was vandalization and 200 clips were replaced. 3 days after, the same spot, they are vandalizing. So we are looking for a way to protect that place. I think we should look inward and check the so-called iron companies that are manufacturing iron, that go after the iron, and encouraging and patronizing people who go about stealing scrap to make up the iron rod. That is not the way to grow. You don't go after what we have to grow your business.
And that's all from our Abuja studios. It's back now to you, Ayo.
Many thanks, Markwe. The 17th edition of the African biggest street party, Carnival Calabar, with the theme Season of Sweetness, has taken place in Calabar, the capital of Cross River State. Now, according to Governor Basi Otu, the whole essence of the Carnival, of the Calabar Carnival that is to make Calabar the preferred tourism destination of Africa.
28th of December every year is the day set aside by the government of Cross River State for Africa's biggest street party, christened Carnival Calabar. The colorful event attracts people from far and near to Calabar to participate and share beautiful memories with family and friends.
The harmonization of tourism and industrialization. Here they come. The fifth section, dressed on the front stage of the category. If you know what you can make some noise! Come on!
This year's carnival is hosting about 18 different states with the theme Season of Sweetness, which the governor of Cross River State, Basi Otu, says is to bring sweetness to the people after experiencing so much hardships in the past.
Well, we passed through some very difficult periods, and after every dark cloud comes a light, and I believe that this is a season of sweetness. The future is even going to be bigger, because this one we started a bit late, but by the time we now start this one as we end this particular one, then you know what we you are going to expect. You know, Cross River State remains the tourism destination as far as this country is concerned, and we will continue to keep the flag flying.
The Minister of Sports Development, Senator John Owaneno, and his counterparts from the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation, Dr. Betta Edu, are part of those who graced the event. They share their thoughts on the colorful event.
I cannot be more proud, to be a Cross Riverian at this point. I mean, you can see excitement in the air. You can see the crowds. You can see that Calabar Carnival is back. It's better, it's bigger, it's sweeter to correspond with the team. This is not sweetness. I mean, this is leadership at its best. And I think that yesterday the governor rallied his troops, all of us together in a clarion call to set Cross River. And we are ready and we are available. And that's why I see all of us here on the front.
This remains the biggest street party in the world, with millions of people on the streets. And we have our street governor and his wife on the streets too. And what we're saying is, let peace reign, let humanity continue to thrive, and let us love one another.
Next, different dance groups use the occasion to thrill the audience. The event, which provides thousands of entertainment lovers with some fun for hours, promises to be even bigger and better next year.
In Abia State, Governor Alex Otti has signed the 2024 appropriation bill into law with a commitment to spur foreign and local investments into the state. Speaking during the budget signing, which was witnessed by members of the State House of Assembly, led by the Speaker, and other top government functionaries, Governor Otti thanked members of the state legislature for their support across party lines. The governor assured them that devoting 84% of the 2024 budget to capital expenditure is not an error, as every money the state intends to borrow will go into infrastructure.
This is a budget that would take Abia State out of underdevelopment to development. The journey of 1,000 miles starts with one step. This is the first step. And once we get things right, and we know we will get them right, the next few years will be uhuru for all our people, those living here, those who come from here, and our friends. It is a budget that would spur investments into the state, both foreign and local, attract businesses, the small, the medium, the large-scale businesses, and secure the state and prepare it for the next level of development.
Also in Yobe State, Governor Maimala Buni has signed into law the sum of 216 billion naira as the state's budget for the 2024 fiscal year. Governor Buni had earlier submitted the sum of 217 billion naira to the State House of Assembly. He revealed that the sum of 94 billion naira is to service recurrent expenditure, while the sum of 122 billion is for capital expenditure.
We submitted a total sum of 217 billion naira to service our capital and recurrent expenditure for the 2024 fiscal year, which the Honorable House, in its wisdom, reduced by 15 million naira to make it more realistic, bringing the budget to a total sum of 216 billion 950 million naira. The recurrent expenditure now stands at 94 billion 156 million naira, while the sum of 122 billion 794 million is now approved for capital expenditure against 122 billion 844 million initially allocated to the sector. I would like to express my sincere appreciation to Honorable Speaker, honorable members, and the entire staff of the Yobe State House Assembly for their continuous support, cooperation, and diligence to ensure the timely passage of the 2024 budget to enable us hit the new year with great determination and commitment to execute our policies and programs with speed and success.
All right, it's time for some business news with Will Ibo.
Thanks, Ayotunde, and welcome to Business News. We begin with top stories. Brazilian oil giant Petrobras has made a re-entry into the African and oil and gas market 3 years after selling off its $1.5 billion Nigerian assets. The oil company returned to the African market with the purchase of 3 exploration blocks in the island nation of Sao Tome and Principe. According to the Brazilian company, the decisions to invest in Sao Tome and Principe mark the resumption of exploratory operations in Africa as it seeks to rebuild its oil and gas reserves by exploring new frontiers. In 2020, Petrobras exited Nigeria following domestic corruption scandals and a desire to streamline its global portfolio. Now to the ongoing probe by the Central Bank of Nigeria's special investigator, Jim Obaze, is insisting that the chairman of Titan Trust Bank, Mr. Tunde Lemo, TGI Group boss, Mr. Colenius Vink, and Rahul Savera must appear before it on Thursday, that's today, over the acquisition of Union Bank of Nigeria. Now, the investigator, who made this known in a letter to the trio, says Mr. Lemo's request for an extension of time for shareholders to prove their ownership of Titan Trust Bank has been rejected. The special investigator stresses that the trio must appear to prove that their acquisition of Union Bank followed due process or risk losing the financial institution to the federal government. Now we head to the domestic equities market, which made a rebound today after 2 negative sessions following the Christmas holiday. It rose by nearly 1%, and Laddie Williams has the details.
Hello and welcome. It's time to get a summary of how your money performed today on the local bourse. Well, from profit taking yesterday, we have bargain hunting today as the all-share index adds 0.99%, basically 1% back to the 74,000 level, deeper 502 points, market cap 40 trillion, little higher now, 769 higher. Let's look at the sectoral performance now. We see banking, the banking counter, having a pullback today, 0.22%, with some of the tier 1 banks and tier 2 banks there losing in share price. Consumer goods, that's on the flip side from yesterday, 0.11% added. Oil and gas, marginally up 0.02%. Let's take a look at stocks worth over 1 trillion now. From dragging the market down yesterday, Dangote Cement does the opposite today, adding 2.20%, bringing the market up. And we see the likes of MTN, Zenith Bank continuing from yesterday's positive close. Well, final trading day of 2023, that's tomorrow. After that, the next trade will be in 2024. Let's see if the bulls end 2023 with a bang tomorrow. That's it from me on the Stock Market Report. It's back to you, Will.
And that's it on Business News. It's back to you, Ayotunde.
Many thanks, Will. Egypt says it has put forward a proposal to end the war between Israel and Hamas and is awaiting responses from both sides. While an official of Israel Defense Forces has admitted extensive collateral damage in Gaza refugee camp and regrets the harm caused to civilians on Christmas Eve. Here's Sami Puzi with other international news in Around the World in 5.
Good evening and welcome to the channel's studios here in London with your international news around the world in 5. The Hamas-run health ministry in Gaza says 50 Palestinians have been killed in Israeli strikes on Thursday. Fighting is continuing across the territory, with the Israeli military saying its troops are in Daraj and Tafah neighborhoods of Gaza City. The Palestinian Red Crescent Society says 10 people have been killed in a strike near Al-Amal Hospital in Khan Yunis, which it runs. The World Health Organization medical team coordinator reported significant casualties while arriving in Al-Aqsa Hospital following a reported Israeli attack on Maghazi refugee camp in central Gaza on Christmas Eve.
There's blood everywhere in these hospitals at the moment. We're seeing almost only trauma cases come through the door, and at a scale that's quite difficult to believe. It's a bloodbath, as we said before. It's carnage. There's nowhere actually that's safe in Gaza. We're at the UN Joint Humanitarian Operations Center right now in Rafah. Outside the door of this building, 50 meters from where I'm sitting right now, there's a camp of thousands of people who have been settled here, who have resettled here because they've lost their homes or they've fled violence, and they're in plastic sheeting shelters right outside the door. And last night we heard fighting almost all night long.
Meanwhile, Hamas has released footage it says shows the group's military wing targeting Israeli military vehicles and soldiers in Khan Yunis, the Gaza Strip's main southern city. Israel's military reported 3 soldiers killed in action in Gaza, bringing its total number of military losses to the enclave since ground operations began to 166. Meanwhile, a UN report has deplored what it calls a rapid deterioration of rights in the West Bank.
The use of military tactics and weapons in law enforcement contexts, and the use of unnecessary or disproportionate force by the Israeli security forces are extremely troubling. Dehumanization of Palestinians that characterizes many of the settlers' actions is very disturbing and must cease immediately. I call on Israel to take immediate, clear and effective steps to put an end to settler violence against the Palestinian population, to investigate all incidents of violence by settlers and Israeli security forces.
Colorado Republicans have appealed to the U.S. Supreme Court after the state's top court ruled that Donald Trump was ineligible to run for president.
Are having an absolute meltdown.
The appeal means he will remain for now on the ballot for the Colorado primary. Last week, the ex-president was disqualified from running in the state for his alleged role in the 6th of January 2021 attack on the U.S. Capitol. Mr. Trump is the Republican frontrunner and is expected to be the party's candidate for the 2024 U.S. election. Cher has reportedly filed for a conservatorship of her son Elijah Blue Allman due to his alleged substance abuse and mental health issues. Court documents seen by U.S. media reportedly claim Mr. Allman is substantially unable to manage his financial resources. A conservatorship is granted by a court for individuals who are unable to make their own decisions, like those with dementia or other mental illnesses. Emergency services have worked to clear damage caused by Storm Gerrit after strong winds battered parts of the UK. In Stalybridge in northwest England, roads were cleared and a tree surgeon worked to remove a tree that had fallen onto a car. The storm caused travel disruption and damaged houses and cars in some places, with emergency services working to clear the affected areas.
Oh, stop it!
Here, a plane struggling to land at London's Heathrow Airport as winds battered parts of the country. And 2 therapy llamas have helped to ease the stress of peak season travelling at Portland's International Airport. The llamas, named Benny and Prince, roamed the airport terminal to the delight of travellers who could not resist a photo opportunity with the animals. Their visit to Portland Airport 3 times this December was an opportunity to bring comfort to travellers amid the hustle and bustle of flying at Christmas. And that's your international news around the world in 5. Now back to the channel's studios in Lagos.
And in the world of sports, Remo Stars will end the year as Nigeria Premier Football League leaders despite suffering a 3-1 defeat against host Heartland of Owerri. As you can see right here on the board, the Kenya-based team finished 2023 on 29 points from 16 league games. They are closely, of course, trailed by Lobby Stars, who enjoyed a 1-0 win against Niger Tornadoes. And Lobby Stars are also on 29 points, but Remo Stars do enjoy a superior goal difference. Let's talk more from the continent now, as Cameroon coach Rigobert Song has included Manchester United goalkeeper Andre Onana in his final squad for next month's Africa Cup of Nations, but dropped striker Eric Maxim Choupo-Moting. Onana had walked out on Cameroon after a role with Song at last year's World Cup in Qatar, but returned after reconciliation with the coach to help Cameroon qualify for the Cup of Nations finals in Cote d'Ivoire, which gets underway on January 13. That's Sports This tonight. Thanks for watching. It's back to Ayotunde.
Many thanks, Kelly. And the main news again. The death toll in the Christmas Eve attacks in Bokos and Barkin-Ladi consuls of Plateau State have risen to 195, just as the United Nations have raised the alarm over the continued invasion of rural communities in Plateau State. That's the news at 10 tonight. Many thanks for watching. I'm Ayotunde Balogun. Do have a good night, and please stay safe.